Hello, my name is Nisha Graves, and I'm an environmental health educator in the Center for Environmental Health and Susceptibility at UNC Chapel Hill. Our Community Engagement Corps has worked with the Women's Health Awareness Program in NIEHS to help people learn about hazards in their homes and ways to protect our health and our family's health. In the next few minutes, I'll talk about various items that are in our everyday lives and can sometimes pose a health threat. But I'm also pleased to share with you no-cost and low-cost steps for removing certain hazards from our homes. Researchers at UNC work to understand how environmental exposures impact conditions like asthma, either worsening a person's asthma symptoms or even increasing their risk of developing asthma. Asthma is a chronic condition that affects the airways. You'll notice on the left side of this image, the airways look like little tree branches. The top right image shows normal airways that make it easy to breathe air in and out, while the image below it shows a narrow, inflamed airway, typical of an asthma attack when a person comes in contact with an allergen. The lungs tighten and it becomes harder to breathe. Next, let's talk about some products that can harm our lungs. Chemicals are in products that we use every day, and some can pollute the air in our homes. Formaldehyde and other human-made chemicals are in many products, and they are released into the air as gases. They're used to make particle board, insulation, glue, paint, and they're in some of our personal care products like shampoo, soap, hair care products, body washes, and even nail polish. Look around your home. Do you use those products on a regular basis? Do they make you think differently about the chemical exposures that might be in your home? It's nearly impossible to remove everything that might expose us to chemicals, but there are safe and no-cost and low-cost solutions for promoting good air quality in our homes. When purchasing products for your home, look for products with labels that show they have little or no dangerous chemicals in them. Air out your new carpet or your rugs outside until you no longer smell a chemical odor. Take the plastic off your dry cleaning. Yes, your dry cleaning. Open the windows when painting. Also, ask yourself, is there a safer way or a safer product I can use for cleaning and for freshening the air? You may find that your own kitchen cabinet already has safe alternatives like seltzer water, white vinegar, and baking soda. Sometimes there are healthy homes issues that could pose an immediate threat to our health, and carbon monoxide is one of them. It is a gas with no taste or smell, and it even has the nickname of the silent killer. Carbon monoxide is produced by anything that burns fuel, like you see in these images. It can cause harm to the brain, the lungs, and the heart. Therefore, the elderly, kids with asthma, and other susceptible populations are at higher risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. Let's talk next about the ways to keep safe from carbon monoxide. Have your gas-burning appliances serviced every year. Use the exhaust fan over the stove while cooking with gas appliances. If there's no ventilation to the outside, open the windows. When grilling or running your car, open the garage so that you don't trap the carbon monoxide inside. Install carbon monoxide detectors on every floor of your home and outside every sleeping area. Test your alarms. Replace the battery once a year. Replace the entire alarm every 5 to 7 years. If your alarm rings, that means there is a dangerous level of carbon monoxide in your home. Leave immediately to get fresh air and call the fire department once you are outside. I often ask people if they've ever sprayed a spider until it died. Most people raise their hands, and we all laugh when I ask if the bug spray killed it or if the spider simply drowned. Either way, it's a way for us to talk about pests like cockroaches and mice that are known asthma triggers and can carry disease. It also gets us thinking about the products or steps we take to get rid of them. They are creepy and crawly, and no one likes it when pests like cockroaches and rats find their way into our homes. Let's understand why they are an environmental health issue. Certain proteins found in cockroach feces, saliva, and body parts, and in the urine of rats and mice can cause allergic reactions or asthma symptoms in some individuals when they inhale the airborne allergens. In a 2014 survey conducted by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, 2/3 of U.S. homes contained cockroaches, while 1/3 had a rodent problem in their home. Okay, so I joked about spraying the spider until it died, but it's important to know how pesticide exposure impacts our health. Researchers have found that pesticides can affect brain development in children, increase risk of getting some cancers, and contaminate drinking water in some farming communities and cities. In the U.S., we purchase more than 1 billion pounds of pesticides for our homes and farms each year. If you're wondering what works better than a can of bug spray, the answer could be Integrated Pest Management, or IPM. IPM uses some common sense, low-cost solutions to keep pests out of our home, like putting food in closed containers, routine cleaning, plugging up holes and sealing cracks so that pests can't crawl through. Safer pesticides should be used, but only as a last resort. The final Healthy Homes issue I'll talk about is lead. Exposure to lead impacts brains and development of children, especially those younger than 6, affecting their IQ levels, behavior in school, and even their hearing and growth. Pregnant mothers and their unborn babies are the other populations most at risk of the harmful effects from exposure to lead, including miscarriages, low birth weights, and preeclampsia. A blood lead test is the only way to know for sure if a person is exposed to lead, and it is recommended that children are tested at 1 and 2 years old. Each year in the U.S., over 500,000 children younger than 6 years old have high blood lead levels. Many lead exposures come from products that many of us encounter or use every day. These images show some of the exposures, including the metal in worn-out keys, cheap toy jewelry, glazed imported pottery that's used for cooking or serving hot food, jobs in construction or welding, our drinking water, and home remedies, spices, and other cultural items. However, it's important to know that most cases of lead poisoning come from exposure to lead-based paint in homes built before 1978. To protect kids from lead poisoning, remember we said that public health agencies recommend testing children at 1 and 2 years old. Wet clean around your home to minimize lead dust moving through the air. Leave shoes at the door. If you're getting your older home renovated or repaired, make sure you hire a contractor or a company that's certified to use lead-safe work practices. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Buy your spices locally. If you work around lead, change out of your work clothes at the end of your workday and never ever wash your work clothes with the rest of the family's clothing. After hearing about all of those Healthy Homes issues, you should know that there are some useful resources to give you even more information on Healthy Homes. First, I invite you to visit the website of the UNC Center for Environmental Health and Susceptibility. My colleagues and I in the Community Engagement Corps have developed educational materials about many of the topics I discussed earlier in the video. The North Carolina Healthy Homes website is another resource that our team manages, developing and compiling resources on carbon monoxide, mold, lead, secondhand smoke, and several other hazards. Finally, I'd like to remind you to visit the NIEHS Women's Health Awareness Resource website to get access to resources compiled from lots of programming coordinated by the NIEHS WHA program staff. I'm NIEHS Graves from UNC Center for Environmental Health and Susceptibility. Thanks so much for watching.